Hi, my name is Jocelyn Reina, and this is Leaders Like Us. Thank you, Kens, for being our sponsor. And today we have Travis Matan. So welcome, Travis.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and get started. If you kind of just want to talk about your journey at the position you're at, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm with Associated Staffing. I've been there for 17 years, held a variety of different positions. Outside of work, I've been involved in some boards. So I started with the Leadership Unlimited board, served 6 years on that, on a variety of different positions and committees. And so I chaired and was treasurer for that for a while, termed off a couple years ago, and I moved into a few other boards with Hope Harbor, Citizen Advocacy, and the Grace Cancer Foundation.
Awesome. So starting with your career, how did you end up at Associated Staffing? Did you know that you wanted to do that when you grew up, or how did you get there?
It was kind of knowing the right people. So I worked at Menards through high school. The general manager at Menards went to work for Associated Staffing and recruited me over there after a couple of years, and started as a recruiter and just tried a bunch of different positions until I got to my position as business director.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at you. So when you said you're on 3 boards right now, right?
Yeah.
And so you served on Leadership Unlimited's board for 6 years, so that was your only board. So how did you go from 1 board to 3 boards? How do you manage that? And then what drew you to being on those boards?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I got off of my 6 years with leadership, I kind of told myself and my wife that I was going to take a year off. But I got a call from the Hope Harbor Board, and I've really loved their mission. I've worked with Liz Mayfield in the past and really love what she's doing there. And so I was interested in joining that one. So decided to step on that. Citizen Advocacy was a similar thing. I didn't really know anything about that board. It's not a very well-known board. But talking with Daniel Helzer and Christine Haba at that board, they really, I was really interested in what they do too. And that one's a little bit less of a time commitment, so I decided I could do those 2. And then the Grace Cancer Foundation asked, and it was another one that, great mission. I felt like I had some capacity, but I'm definitely tapped out right now with 3 boards. It's a lot going on, treasurer for 2 of them, so
yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. How would you, if someone is looking to join a board, like they've never been on a board before, and now with your experience of being on boards, like what would you recommend someone knowing or looking into when looking at joining a board?
Well, I think you have to have a passion for wherever the mission is. You're really going to be more focused and work harder and feel a connection to whatever board it is if you have that connection to the mission. I would recommend joining committees first to get an idea, and that's kind of how I got into Leadership Unlimited. When I went through Class 29, right after getting off of that, I joined a couple of the committees there, and I did that for 2 years before I was asked to join the board. It was a great experience to learn how a board works and to see what's going on. A lot of the work actually happens in those committees, so it's interesting to see how that kind of funnels through and gets back to the board. And then when I joined Leadership Unlimited, I kind of jumped in head first and actually took the treasurer role immediately. So there was a lot of learning really quickly how a board works, and I think that was good for me to get that exposure right away. But I don't recommend that. join your board and at least sit on the board for a year before taking any leadership roles. Would be my recommendation.
Thank you. So you said, you joined the committees. Right now, you're still part of our summit committee.
Yeah.
What drew you to that committee, or to still be involved, even though you're not on the board anymore?
The summit is amazing. We started as a afternoon session with some panels and local speakers, and over the years we've grown that to a full day session or event with multiple local speakers as well as some national and international keynote speakers. It's just an amazing opportunity that we don't get a lot in Grand Island to take a day away from work and get some additional training in areas of teamwork, team building, conflict resolution, just a variety of different things. So it's a great program, and I'm really happy with where it's come, and I wanted to stay involved and make sure that it continues.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about the boards, you mentioned citizens advocacy, correct?
Yep.
Okay, can you talk a little bit more about that one? Maybe I myself, I'm not very familiar with that board.
Yeah, like I mentioned, it's really not a very well-known board. But what we do is we take people with disabilities in the community that don't have a strong network of support, and we match them with advocates in the community to help advocate for them with the programs that they're working through, sometimes financially, sometimes they're part of a group home, and we need to make sure that they're getting a fair deal in their relationship with that. The advocates also just build lifelong friendships. So our matches, we really want those to be long-term. So we've got some going on 20 years now that we're working with, but it's just finding a need in the community and trying to address that.
How do you guys find the advocates for the clients that you serve?
Mostly networking. So the coordinator, the only staff person there, their job is to find people in need and then find a match for them based on those needs. It's a pretty extensive process to make that match. It's a long interview process, and then meeting between the protege and the advocate multiple times to make sure that it's going to be something that lasts. And we just make that and then do periodic follow-ups with them.
Awesome. And then I guess earlier I didn't ask, are you from Grand Island? Where are you from? And then how did you get here to Grand Island, and why are you still here?
Basically, from Wood River, lived in Alda growing up. Been a Grand Island area native, but I really like Grand Island. Decided to stay here, and I have a wife and 3 children, and we're all happy here. Just really excited about the direction that Grand Island is moving with all of the development going on, and all of the young leaders like yourself in the community that are working to make it a better place.
Awesome, thank you. And then I guess when you were talking about the job you have right now, right? You mentioned your manager, the connections. Are there other, mentorships or people that helped you throughout the way to get you where you are today?
No official mentorships, but I've had a lot of people that I've looked up to and worked with, especially in the nonprofit realm, that I've learned a lot from. Jessica Hendricks, obviously, being one of them, and Liz Mayfield. I worked a lot with Melissa DeLate on the Leadership Unlimited board, and Alan Hornady, and learned a ton from both of them. So I would say, not officially, but a lot of people that in Grand Island to learn from.
So I guess with everything you're mentioning, you're talking about relationships and connections. What would your suggestion be for someone maybe that's new to the community, that just moved to Grand Island, or that just wants to, get more involved and help the community? Like how do you make those connections, or how do you, talk to people?
Yeah, so especially younger people new to the community, I would recommend the Chamber of Young Professionals. I was pretty involved in that for several years, and that's a lot of my connections came from that. And then from the Leadership Tomorrow class. I think most of the people I know I either met directly through Leadership Tomorrow or through connections I made there, and kind of close the gap to make those additional connections.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about all the things that are happening in Grand Island. Can you talk a little bit more about that, like the developments, and for people that may not know what's going on?
Yeah, so for me, having a young family and being formerly a young person.
You're still young.
Some of the things that I really enjoy is all of the work that has happened and continues to happen on Railside. Just a great place to hang out, and with the Here GI series now, it's just really fun to go down there on Fridays and get to see everybody and hear some great music. The other things, a lot of the parks have been renovated, and we see more of that coming. The Epic Discovery Center that's going to be coming soon is great for parents. That's going to be a facility for kids of all ages, so a great thing that we haven't really had in the past. The development at the Conestoga Marketplace, I'm really excited for that. Haven't had a big movie theater for a while, and,
Yes.
and my kids love going to the movies, so just all of the housing developments that are going up is exciting to see because we have some great employers in town, and I think we just need to continue to build the community to kind of build that workforce and attract those the younger professionals.
Okay. So earlier you mentioned you were involved with, you're still involved with the young professionals
Not
of the
anymore.
chamber? Not anymore. What would your suggestions be for employers or just people in the community to recruit and retain young people into our community?
I think a lot more organizations in town are doing internships, and I
Okay.
think that's a great way to get them in town, show them what we have to offer. So I would say do those internship programs, and while your interns are here, try to get them involved in some social activities so they can see more of town and not just what you have to offer as an employer.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So you're the business director at Associated Staffing, right?
Yeah.
What would you say are trends in the workforce that you're seeing right now?
Well, right now the big thing is we're seeing the minimum wage increase, so that's really affecting a lot of the positions. It's a little tough for some of the employers when they were at or below those levels to kind of push that up and still remain in budget. But I think that's a big thing that's driving employment right now. I would say that being more attractive as an employer because that's kind of leveled the playing field in some of the positions. So offering programs, a lot of the younger generation are looking for a lot of work-life balance. I think that's their biggest thing on some of the surveys I've seen. And so offering that to your employers, whether you have the capability to do some work from home or flexible schedules, things like that. So we have a strong employment in Grand Island, and I think it's going to continue. It's just going to be competitive for employers moving forward.
So as a business director at Associated Staffing, what are some of the duties or some of the things that you are in charge of there?
Yeah, so I manage our workers' compensation program, unemployment, just a lot of the administrative back office things, and then I work alongside our CFO and our director of operations to kind of set policy and just keep the company moving forward, working with our partner companies to make the communities that we serve kind of a better place to work.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Travis, again, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today. And thank you so much to Kents for being our series sponsor. My name is Jocelyn Reina, and this is Leaders Like Us.